Hey everybody, thanks for watching. It is the middle of the week and it is late at night, but a friend of mine is putting on a golf meditation class once a week. So he invited me to come check it out. Dr. Kevin is a golf psychologist that works with USC and Long Beach State and some other college programs, and has really gotten deep into peak performance for athletics and golf specifically. So I'm going to check this out. I really don't know much about what it's going to be, but I look forward to trying it. Always trying to do something to sharpen my game. Let's go check it out. Hey guys, all right, so I'm here in the what it looks like, kind of like the kids psychology area here at Dr. Kevin's place, and I'm with Desiree Dubriel. Desiree plays on the Symetra tour, and she's been doing these for a little while. So give us a little recap kind of your career, like college-wise, and then into pro now.
Okay. So I played at the University of Texas in Austin, Longhorns. So after I graduated in 2013, I went straight to the Symetra tour, and I've played a couple of years there. I've just finished my third full season on the Symetra tour. Things have been going okay. It's obviously been an adjustment going from the college level to the professional level. You know, as far as travel and caddies and all that kind of stuff, it's kind of a management thing. It's more of anything, and obviously the level of golf goes way up as you move up in levels. So I'm starting to play some better golf out there. So.
Cool.
All things looking up. When
you made the transition from college to, hey Dr. Kevin, how's it going? I'm interviewing your client right now. Okay. This is Dr. Kevin here. We're about to start. What was the big difference like from college to pros, like as far as the games of the girls that you were playing against in college, and then professionally? Was the putting much better? If you had to put it in like an actual stats kind of way?
Right. I'd say honestly everything's just a little bit tighter, right?
Sharper,
so
yeah.
Everything's a little bit sharper. People are making more birdies, they're making more putts, but in order to do that, you know, they're hitting fairways, and the biggest thing I think is iron play. People are giving themselves more birdie chances than you see in college. You know, it's like, okay, there's less missed greens and you've got more putts inside 15 feet for birdie or something like that, you know. So for the most part, it's everything's close to the pin, and then people are making putts, and it's consistency.
Yeah,
it's doing that on a week-to-week basis, and those are the people that are successful out there.
Right. It's a lot harder to just roll over people because the people are just too sharp. They're too good.
Right.
Okay, let's see how this is. We're starting our thing. I'm going to try not to be too intrusive to the group, but I will film Kevin's little background so we get to know him a little bit and how this group started and everything. So take it away, Doctor.
All right. So this is really kind of, say, 25 years in the making, kind of merging. I've had a lifelong interest in Buddhism and meditation, and along the way, you know, I was an athlete growing up, a competitive tennis player. And then I kind of merged into coaching tennis competitively and college tennis coach. And then I got into sports psychology and started studying sports psychology, which is the primary thing that I do now. And it's always been in the back of my mind is merging these two things, merging performance with this kind of Buddhist philosophy and practice. And in the last, say, 5 to 8 years, I've thoroughly integrated meditation with all of my clients individually, but not so much in the group setting, and that's always been something that I wanted to do. So so that's where this has come about, and I'm really looking at this as a training piece for athletes that, you know, just like they go to their physical therapists and their strength and conditioning and their technique coaches and so on. I think this is a key piece that isn't addressed enough for the athletes, and that's really where I've started this and trying to build it to get a regular kind of group together. And I think it's also helpful in a group setting. It's kind of like group therapy, but in a more of a positive way. Is that we all have shared experiences and shared success stories and challenges, and I think it's helpful a lot to just kind of have those types of discussions. So that's really where it kind of.
Yeah, I know that like you in golf research recently, I've heard a lot of stuff about quiet eye and things with like when you're looking at the ball and not being so scattered, like,
Right.
you know, my 5-year-old or something. And is this kind of like a muscle you can train as far as like getting yourself to get in the zone easier or get more calm? And like, can the stuff you do in here bleed onto the golf course or tennis court?
Oh,
or
no,
whatever?
absolutely. But really what I'm trying to get at is there's this surface level benefit of meditation, which is calming, reducing anxiety, slowing down the breath. And then there's the focus aspect of meditation, learning how to quiet the mind so that you can be more one-pointed with your focus. And certainly that's helpful just in of itself. But I think that at a deeper level, this is how you begin to train your mindset of how you begin to look at things. You look at yourself, you look at the sport, you look at competition, and begin to look at a way or developing a way to look at things and see things that make it, one, better performance, but two, and more importantly, more joy out of it. But sure, the quiet eye stuff is definitely a really big area, and it's a good thing, but this will help that. But again, like I said, we're trying to go a little bit deeper.
To you, has this helped you have a little bit more perspective, or what do you think?
Yeah, I haven't played anything really competitively since we've started this, since it's off season. But I think that I can tap into a lot of those examples that we've used in here and a lot of the breathing techniques and stuff like that, and actually use them while I'm out on the golf course in competition.
Judgment comes in, and so often it's about good swing or bad swing, and it doesn't really help. It's in two ways. First, there's no information. That was a good swing, that was a bad swing. There's no information on that at all. How do you define what it is to me good? So it doesn't really give you a something to build upon. Okay, and then the second thing is judgment leads to then an emotion. You have positive judgment, you have positive emotions. You have negative judgments, you have negative emotions. Either way, though, we know with emotions, then that clouds our rational thinking, right? We don't process information clearly when there's emotion. Again, either positive or negative. We do equally stupid things when we're angry and when we're in love, right? Equally stupid. Maybe even more stupid when we're in love. I know in my case, I can think of some pretty good examples of that, okay? So learning to suspend judgment is, I think, a very big thing. And so I want to go through an exercise where we practice that. Okay, it's called body scanning. We've done it before. Okay, and it's a really great exercise in non-judgment. The body doesn't want to screw up on purpose, right? Your game, you don't want to make mistakes on purpose, right? And that's where I think when we use kind of the language, and a lot of them are cliches, and I think it's important to take some of these cliches and really kind of define them for ourselves, is, to let the game happen, to let it come, don't, not forcing it. There is aspiration in that, right? There is aspiration in that. When you say I'm going to let whatever's going to happen, you're not going to purposely try to make bogeys. I mean, you're going to try to hit fairways, and you're going to try to hit greens, and you're going to try to get up and down, and you're going to try to make putts. There doesn't have to be any like additional trying. It's already going to be there, right? It's the additional trying that gets in the way. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I mean about the awareness is getting to the point where you can stay in this state of present awareness without judging. Doesn't mean at all that you're not being competitive, that you're not striving. You are naturally striving. You know what I'm saying? okay? Because that's what you want to do as a golfer. You're going to naturally try to put the best score that you can, okay? So a little story, little kind of, one thing that I personally have enjoyed about Buddhism is a lot of the little parables or stories that they tell. And so this is a famous story about this farmer and his wife, and they have a child. The wife is pregnant, and she gives birth to a boy, and they rejoice. They go, "Oh, what great fortune! We have a son who will grow up and be able to help on the farm, and eventually be able to take over the farm." So the boy grows up healthy, and one day and is helping out on the farm, and one day a big storm comes in, and the only horse that they have, the plow horse, escapes and runs away. And so, such bad fortune that we lost our plow horse. Now we're going to have to plow the land by hand. Plow it by hand. It's going to take forever. So then they send the son out to look for the horse that ran away, and he goes out and he comes back 3 days later with another horse. While he was looking for the horse that ran away, he found a wild horse. He comes back with 2 horses. So the farmer's like, "Oh, this is great luck now. Now we have 2 horses. Now we can plow the land even faster." So in this process of training the new horse and breaking the new horse in, the son falls off the horse and breaks his leg badly. Doctor says he's always going to have a limp. He's never going to be able to walk normally. And the farmer's like, "Oh, such bad fortune that my son, he has this limp. He'll always be limping. He'll never be able to walk." And then a few weeks later, the army comes from village to village, recruiting young men to fight in the war, brutal war. And they look at the farmer's son, and they see that he's limping, and says, "Well, we can't take him." And the farmer goes, "What great fortune that my son broke his leg and he won't have to go fight in this horrible war." I mean, how do you know? See what I'm saying? We're so quick to pass judgment. I'm saying they're so quick to pass judgment about everything. Like even like last week, I was playing with this guy, and after 5 holes, he had bogeyed like the first 4 holes, and after 5 he goes, "It's just not my day today." And I go, "You're not even a third way through the round. How do you know?" Right? You just never know. But we're very quick to pass judgment. And that's the thing that we have to be aware of when we bring that into awareness, the judgment.
Yeah, none of my best rounds started with birdie, and I've had a ton of bad rounds that I birdied the first hole. That's almost like a kiss of death for me to birdie the first hole.
Oh, I remember I was playing Meadowlark. You ever play Meadowlark? Mm-hmm. Okay. And Meadowlark, you go, the first hole goes this way, and then you come here, and there's the second hole, and then you have to walk. You kind of walk. There's a little bit of a long walk to number 3. And I'm playing. This was a while ago, a long time ago, before I was, not that I'm a great golfer now, but I wasn't, certainly when I was great then. And I birdied the first 2 holes, which I had never, ever done, right? And I remember, and I teach this stuff, so I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, I birdied the second hole, and I'm walking to the 3rd hole, and my mind is going like nuts. It's just like, oh man, I could shoot like a 68, and I am in the clubhouse, right? I mean, that was, when I look back, that was as challenging mentally to deal with than any time where I've, say, bogeyed like 4 holes or had a really bad stretch. That was much tougher to stay present.
It's judgment, right?
It's a judgment.
It's judgment, good or bad.
Absolutely. It's absolutely.
So the good is almost worse, right? Because then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this could be really good. I'm doing really well. And then you're setting all these expectations for the rest of your round when you have no...
Absolutely. It just... Yeah. And if you think about judgment, usually they have to do with something that's going to happen in the future. Right? Like this guy says, it's a terrible round. But that's not a judgment that's truly made until after the round is over. So as we go through the week about kind of maybe cultivating this mindset of let's suspend judgment. Now, I'm not talking about canceling judgment, but like I said, when I say suspend judgment, let's not pass the final judgment so soon. Say, no, so suspend it. Rather than add the judgment after the 5th hole, why don't we suspend it till the 18th hole, till we're done? Just suspend it, right? Because that's all we're talking about, suspend judgment. So that initial one comes in and says, oh, no, you know what, let's just wait a little bit and see. I still might have the same judgment, but let's see. I might not.
All right, so I'm in the car after the meditation. We did 3 different sets, I guess you would call them. I don't know what you would call them. 3 different sets. Each one was maybe, it's so hard to tell when you're meditating how long it was. First it felt really long, and then it felt like it could have gone on longer. So I don't even know what they would be, maybe 10 minutes. It was great. We were talking about all different kinds. The theme of the meditation, I guess the guided group meditation tonight was judgment. Passing judgment on just yourself in general and your whole life, but you know, focus really on the golf course. You know, when you're playing really bad or when you're playing really good. One of the Kevin was talking about it like a stock, going up and down like a stock. So you know, when your performance stinks and it goes low, you know, that's when traders, they would be buying it at that point, because it would be like it would, you know, going to come back. And then also when you've done really well, you know, traders, they would be selling it at that point. So whatever you do, you're going to come back to the mean of, you know, really who you are. So if you go out there and you bogey the first 3 holes, you're like, okay, well, you know, I'm probably going to make X amount of bogeys today. So, you know, I got most of them out of the way now, or I'm probably going to hit some bad shots, so they're out of the way now. Or if you go out and you're blitzing it with birdies, it doesn't mean that you're gonna birdie every single hole, or that you need to start having a judgment about, okay, this is gonna be the round of my life. It's just, okay, well, I was probably gonna birdie some holes anyway today. You know, they just happened or whatever. Really interesting. Like I said, you know, it's just so hard when you're in the moment and you're upset. So this is a muscle to exercise, you know, just like anything else. With that stock thing, when we were talking about, one phrase that come up is that traders use is, when in doubt, zoom out. So when we're in the volatility of the round and, you know, things are like ups and downs and it's crazy, and you're trying to, and you're passing all these judgments, it's like, well, let's zoom out and be like, okay, what is the history of how I've been doing, you know, recently, and how I've done over the course of my career. It's like, you know, have some more wider term perspective on things during the round. I think that could help. Thanks to Dr. Kevin. Hey, any of you guys can come to this. He just started it like a month ago, so anybody who wants to come to this guided meditation, Kevin's email is right here. I'll put a title and it will be in the description below. He also wrote a golf psychology book. There's a Amazon link for it too that I really like. Has a lot of these games that he talks about that you should do in practice. Thanks for watching, everybody. Long one. I hope you can do that meditation. And I'll do a link to just the guided one, just the one body scanning guided meditation, maybe, and I'll put the link in the description below, and just have that as its own video, in case some people, you can do that, you know, you can do that every once in a while and just listen to the YouTube video. Thanks, everybody. Click like, click subscribe, and post notifications. See you later.